Let's get ready for the week. Hi, this is Nick. I'm doing homework on Sunday night so we can be ready and not wing it. Let's address Friday. It felt hideous, but this was not a bearish week. The bulls are in charge of this market. We may have a top, but we don't have full-blown evidence of such. A lot of attention needs to be paid to three stocks: Apple, Alphabet, and Nvidia. So stick around until we cover those. Zooming out to the S&P weekly candle, you can see that it's not a bearish candle. In fact, we made an all-time high, violently so, on Friday. We closed with a weekly doji that is a complete indecisive candle, not a bearish candle, okay? So how are we doing relative to our target? We have our target between 530 and 560. You've heard that message for months, and unless there's a change in sentiment. The CPI. So last month, the CPI came out at 308 point something, which, by the way, as an absolute number, inflation was higher than at any point in time last year. However, somehow, Powell convinced us that, hey, inflation has been handled. Say what? So they are manipulating the message with these percentages. I don't know what the number is going to be. If it's going to be like 312 or 311, I think we have a tizzy, because that would be proof positive that we have had two increasing months back to back. They're going to try to sell us on the message of the rate of increase is slowing down. We've made all-time high after all-time high this past month on a very hot CPI number. So be careful to expect too much damage. Here's the QQQ. They did have a bad week, but like 1.5%. They just reverted to the mean. That red line is the huge ascending channel that we've had since 2022 bottom of October. So if I go even to the daily chart, you can see that we merely just dropped to the mean. There's no story here, but there might be. Listen at the end. I'm going to refocus on these mega caps. All right, now on to these small caps. There's a lot to say here, so pay attention. Put the chartist hat on for a little bit, but you can understand it in theory. So if I show you, this has been an area of attention. I wanted to see them close above 205 and 206, and they kind of did, kind of. They busted through it, but then closed right there with another doji, indecisive candle like the SPY, so it wasn't really a red. It is kind of a breakout. And let me tell you why kind of. Because we've spent 2 years consolidating. But go back 3 years. You come to 3 years ago, we had a floor at 210, give or take a few pennies. Weeks and weeks and weeks of defense, and then whoops, they lost it. January of 2022, then lost it in April of 2022, so that's 2 years ago, and then tried every few months to recover it, miserably failing. And here they are, breaking out. So they do have the potential to go 12 to 18%, I promise. Now here's the twist. Now we're going to have to say, can they do it without the SPY? Last week, up to last week, we were saying, can the SPY do 530 without the IWM? Now I'm going to switch it and I'll tell you why. Watch these three stocks. This is Apple, the former king of stocks. It's almost losing second place to Nvidia. What? Way to go, Tim Cook. They hit my target 1, and they have my target 2 still to be hit, and target 3 is down at 160, low 160s. Any rallies will probably face selling. Alphabet as well. It too is being sold. Every rally is being sold for weeks. So this one is likely to face some sellers if it rallies into 142. And here's a giant component of the whole market. So Nvidia, there's no doubt it's in the hands of the bulls. It fell apart like 12% in hours on Friday. That was after a 10% rally out of nowhere as well. But I want you to look left. I don't see where it has had this much red back to back so quickly in weeks. I'm a little concerned if this is indeed a top in Nvidia. I see this potential in Nvidia. Hopefully I don't have too many lines. A rally here is going to find some sellers here. If they can't take it out and they do this, now suddenly we have a head and shoulders. The target of this roughly somewhere in the 780 to the 800. Can the market absorb this? So we have three mega caps that could really weigh down the S&P and the QQQ. So can the IWM rally all by itself, maybe for a day? So that puts me back into watching the balance between the bids that are going into the small caps and the bids that are going into the mega caps. This is an emotional market. Control your emotions. And the only way you can do it is by talking charts. The bulls are overly confident. The bears are too upset. They're both going to make mistakes and somebody's going to get hurt. Let's not make it be us.